All right, living lifers. This is Sam and Leva. I'm without Leva now because I'm doing maintenance on stuff that keeps us playing out there in the field. This week I'm doing maintenance on our generator on our RV. Has to be done. Generator's in great working order. Motorhome is new motorhome, so generator should be in great working order. I do exercise the generator often, but I also wanted to go ahead and change the oil, change spark plugs, just do a complete tune-up, change the fuel filter. They recommend doing it every 3 years for the fuel filter and also spark plug, or 500 hours. If you put 500 hours in your generator in 3 years, you're doing a lot of boondocking. We don't do a lot of boondocking. We prefer to hook up at the state park, but we also like the motorhome because we can also boondock if we want to. We typically motorhome with a bunch of friends, and it's not really camping. It's definitely glamping. The RV is a really nice motorhome, but stay tuned because in the future we want to name the motorhome. The motorhome doesn't have a name. Our other motorhome was Living Life, and we took that name and named our YouTube channel Living Life. So we got to come up with a catchy name for this one, and I'll probably just reach out to you guys and see what you guys come up with. Motorhome on the generator, I found that our air filter, it was plugged with a lot of debris, and that debris came from, we had a rat nest or mouse nest in the generator part of the motorhome. It happens when you have those things sitting up for a long period of time. But we put some peppermint oil. I sprayed in everything, and peppermint oil really will deter the rodents. So if you live in the country like we do, we live in Washington State. We live on Camino Island, but we are on 6 acres, and all of our land around us is wooded. So we have quite a few rodents that are in the area, but they weren't our rodents that got in the generator housing. They were the actual mice, from the previous owner that we bought the motorhome from. So yeah, get rid of them. I'm kind of like Bill Murray on Caddyshack. If I see anything like a rodent, I'm going to war. So we have an understanding on my property. The rodents, they don't mess with me, and I don't mess with them. So, but we still spray that peppermint oil on everything that we don't want rodents getting into. We spray the perimeter of our home as well. So if you guys have mice that may get into your cars, into the engine compartments anyway, you can put lights in there. If they're getting into your motorhomes, make sure you find all the holes that go into your motorhome, seal them, and then also spray that oil. You can just get the abstract off of Amazon. You mix it with water, warm water, and you just go to town spraying it with a spray bottle. It's pretty easy, and it works. I haven't had any mice in any of the vehicles that I've been treating, so it works. All right, living lifers. This is something that I never filmed, but I thought I should do it just so people can see I just don't have fun all the time. I do have to do some work to the motorhome. So what you have here is just a kit so that I can tune up my generator. So basically the air filter, spark plug, gap tool, oil, and also a fuel filter. So I'm gonna get hot and get on this creeper over here, and I'm gonna slide under this motorhome and get this thing taken care of. So I have a 4,000 watt generator, owning gas. So I'm gonna be digging into this baby here in a minute, just getting her done. And there she is. Generator runs great, but you know what? This is the time to do a tune-up. You tune it up while it's running great. You don't wait until you have issues, because when you have issues, that's really too late, right? No surging, running good, ran the air conditioner today. The motorhome has been stored. It's been winterized, so I'm getting ready to de-winterize it. I know we're getting ready to go on vacation to Santorini, Greece, but when we come back, we're gonna be in the scene pretty hot and heavy. So just stand by. Okay, so when you order the kit, which I ordered on Amazon, It tells you to change the spark plug and also the fuel filter every 500 hours. Or it says every 3 years. So this is a new motorhome still. I say it's 5 years old. And there's not a lot of hours. It's about 326 hours on the generator. And I do run the generator loaded every month. So in the wintertime, I'll run it with the heat pump and heat just to load the generator up. I run it for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then in the summer, I use it all the time. So, but you still got to remember to exercise the generator. And there again, I exercise it with the heat pump in air conditioning mode. So I'm going to slide under here and I'm going to get hot. So like I said, the generator is in great shape. It's got some stains on it. It might have had a rodent that got in there, and you can see a little stain there. But I put in there peppermint oil. I spray peppermint oil in all my compartments, and rodents hate peppermint oil. So if you're going to store your motorhome for any extended period of time, spray peppermint oil in your cargo bays, also in the house part too, because you don't. Who wants a mouse in their house? They do so much damage to the motorhome. So peppermint oil will work great. All right, let me get hot on this guy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the air filter, which is right there, and it has a little nut on top that you can twist to loosen up. And as you can see, I'm twisting it now, trying to get that guy all loosened up. And then when I get that guy off, I'll be able to change out the filter. And you can see that filter is filthy. It sucked in, there was a rodent here before. You can see that air filter has pulled in debris, you know, from a mouse nest that was in there when we bought the motorhome. I went through and cleaned everything out, and as you can see, this thing needs to be changed out. That will cause your generator to overheat. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. Okay, so that is the filter that came out of there. As you can see there, that was part of a mouse nest. Like I said, when I bought the motorhome, there was a mouse nest in their generator area, which makes sense because it's easy access, it's open, and there's all kinds of holes that, you know, take you to the bottom of the motorhome. But the filter actually is in really good shape, with the exception of that part of the nest that was found on it. So this basically pulled little bits and pieces through the air intake of the generator until it covered that up. So glad we caught that. That could also not only cause your generator to overheat, if you have any nest material in there, you could even cause a fire. But I've cleaned it out and there's nothing else in there, so we're going to keep moving forward and just get it clean. Oh, when you pull this filter out, the filter, it's pretty hard to come out because of just the angle. So this thing actually, you have to angle it back that way to be able to get it out. So, but if you play with it, you'll be able to figure it out. It's pretty easy. Just angle it back and then you can pull it straight out. Okay, let me keep going here. Okay, I made a mistake. This is the spark plug right here, spark plug wire. You don't need to take this off to get to that. You can access it from below. So pull the spark plug wire. It was a little tight, but I used a spark plug wire puller. I was able to pop it right off of there with this guy right here. So this is what that looks like. So the spark plug wire is off. Now the spark plug is there, and I can access the spark plug with this socket. And this is just a 13/16 socket. So we'll get this in there and we'll go to it. Let me see if I can get it to fit real quick. Yep, and there she goes. She's on there. Okay. So let me come back to you here in a minute. Let me grab my tool and we'll pull that thing right off of there. Thanks. All right. I got that spark plug out of there. Took a little effort, but it came out. No worries. So now I'll put the new spark plug in, and the new spark plug, we need to gap it. If you get the kit, you're gonna have a gapping tool that comes with it. Let me grab that for you here. And that gapping tool says 0.6, so they already have it set for you. So 0.6 is what you're going to gap the other one to. I'm going to gap that plug, and I'm going to put that plug in, and it goes right there. And then before I put this wire back on it, I want to put a little dielectric grease on the plug itself. I'm talking about some dielectric grease. Whenever you're doing any electrical work on a car, anything that's going to be in a marine environment or just a bad environment, water, dirt, dielectric grease goes a long way. Just a little bit on the plug and we should be good to go. Okay. Okay, before I get it seated, just want you to see, I put it in with two hands. Basically, I used one finger on each hand. It's pretty tight space in there, and I have big hands. So if you have smaller hands than me, you should be totally fine. I have big hands, and I was able to get my bare paw in there and get it. But you see, I got it threaded in. You have to be really careful when you thread it in. You do not want to cross thread that. As you can see, it's a very tight spot. If worst case scenario, you did something bad, you can always drop this generator or have it take to the shop. They can drop it for you and you can fix whatever you mess up. But my point is, don't be afraid to try. If you can do a tune-up on your car, you can do this little engine, no problem. So I got it going in now. It's threading in really easily. So I'm gonna keep going until it's snug just with my hand, and then I'll put the tool on it and then we'll go from there, okay? So, and then don't forget the dielectric grease I'm gonna put on the tip, and that will, like I say, help with a good electrical connection. And before I do that, I wanna just check the wire and make sure there's no issues with the actual spark plug wire. Okay, thanks. Okay, so I've got the spark plugs changed out. Next, I'm gonna do the oil. And then that little thing there, there's a drain plug in under here. So we gotta open this up and then we can pull the drain plug. And then I'm also gonna do the fuel filter, which is, I don't wanna get too close to it, but it's right there. This is the fuel filter. The fuel line, I'm sorry. The fuel filter is right there. So I'm gonna clamp this hose off and pull this line. I'll do that while the oil is draining. So let me do that now and I'll come back to you. All right, so oil has been emptied into the basin here, but when you pull the plug on the oil pan, it has a metal washer on it. So make sure you don't drop it in the basin here, the oil catch pan, and lose it, because it has to go back on. So I got it tightened down again. So now I'm moving on. And if you can see over here, let me go to the fuel side here. All right, so now this is gonna be fun. I've pinched off the fuel line. I use vice grips and two pieces of wood so I can protect the line. I'm also gonna throw another vice grip on it just in case it does leak gasoline. But if it does, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna catch it in the basin here. So the oil's done, so now I'm gonna change the fuel filter. And the fuel filter is just a little bitty guy. All right, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, hold on a minute here. I can't stress enough wear your PPE when you're doing this, because this is gasoline now. Oil, gas products, but this is the fuel filter. Let's see if we can get it to focus there. That comes with the kit. And I have a deep socket that will fit over that. Let me see. Yeah, so that socket will barely fit. It's not really deep enough, but you know what? For back shade tree mechanics, it's gonna work for us. So this is gonna be fun. So let me go ahead and pull the fuel filter now. All right, so I just got the oil put back in it, and you can see there's oil there at the neck. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. There's oil at the neck. It did fill the dipstick up. The dipstick is just a slide type of dipstick. If you can see that. Let me see if I can get you a good angle. So yeah, she's ready to go. I've started her up. She ran great. When you're putting that fuel line back on, the one I showed you earlier, when you change the fuel filter, be really careful there, because you do not want to cross thread that thing. Use a deep socket. It works great, but like I said, don't go gorilla crazy. You don't have to. And so now she's ready to go for another 500 hours. But you change the oil roughly 160 hours or 3 years. When you check your oil, if it's dirty, go ahead and change it. It won't hurt at all. So that's it. This is the RGQ 4000. Like I said, this helps me run my air conditioner and stuff like that when I'm boondocking. We rarely ever boondock, but hey, you want to be prepared. If you have the capabilities, you might as well use it, right? So let me go ahead and put this guy, close it up for the night, and we're gonna call it good. So remember, this is living life. Remember to keep living and enjoying life. Thank you.